I am a mother of 4 wonderful girls, and I would like to share with you on how to be a mom of 4 and to keep your sanity. I want you to close your eyes and picture with me 4 angelic girls, and one of them is playing her viola in the background, and the other one is screaming at the top of her lungs because her other sister just hit her, and then the baby just threw the food all over the floor while she's grabbing at your shirt, screaming, "Mommy, Mommy, Mommy," all while you're trying to just make some dinner. There are 3 main points that I would like to talk about. The first is the difference between having one child to having multiple children. And the next is being a stay-at-home mom versus being a working mom. And the last one is how to spend time with everybody in your family and how to have some me time, which is very important. So with the first birth, usually you watch every video, you read all the books, you get to the apps and you can watch the baby, how it's growing inside of your belly. You go to the hospital. The birth usually lasts between 8 to 18 hours, says Baby Center. You have the nurses and doctors and families. You record everything. As soon as you give birth to the baby, you want to keep that baby with you the whole entire time and hold it the whole time. And you want to usually leave the hospital sooner so that you can spend time with the baby at home, just you and the baby. After that, the second birth, you usually will want to you'll watch some of the apps, you'll watch some of the videos, you'll read a little bit here and there, but you kind of have a handle on what's going to go on. When you go to the hospital, you usually go in there and have probably you and the nurse and your husband, but probably not everybody else in their family in the room with you. You have them help you out a little bit more in the hospital, and you stay a little bit longer in the hospital, says Baby Center. After the third birth, the time is usually about the same, 4 to 12 minutes or 4 to 12 hours. Then you usually want to stay in the hospital a lot longer because you want to spend more time with the baby. You usually have the staff help you out more because this is probably the last me time that you're going to get in a while. When you take the baby home, with your first child, you've probably baby-proofed everything in your house. Inside, outside your house, your car, your friends and family's houses. You sterilize anything that falls on the floor. You got to make sure it's nice and clean. The doctor's number is on speed dial. That baby coughs, you are in to the hospital. After the second time, if something falls on the floor, you probably sterilize a few things like the pacifiers. But other than that, you kind of pick it up and let them play with it. It's not a big deal. The third and fourth child, if it falls on the floor, they can just go ahead and put it back inside your mouth. It's just a few more nutrients for the baby. Pretty much nothing has to be baby-proofed anymore. You usually stay inside your maternity clothes from then on out. You don't need to go ahead and buy any more clothes because the maternity clothes are fine enough for you. And then after that, you have to decide when the baby's about 6 weeks, whether you're going to go back to work or if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom. And that is such a personal and hard decision for every single mother. The moms that decide to stay home, they get to spend every waking moment with that child. They don't get to miss their first steps, the first of anything really. And then if you decide to go ahead and be a mom that goes to work, you have more guilt usually because you're going to miss all of those first things that you wouldn't be able to if you were able to be there. But one of the biggest things I've noticed since I decided to go back to work is that I can't deal with the chaos as much as I used to. When I was a stay-at-home mom, I could hear all the screaming and hollering all the time, and it was just normal, and I could deal with it. It wasn't a big deal, but the second I started going back to work, and of course I'm a massage therapist, so it's quiet here, and I went back home to the chaos, I just could not handle it anymore. It was crazy. So the biggest thing that you have to remember, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or you work, is that you need to find some me time. And I know it's even harder when you are going to work to go ahead and decide to have me time because you already feel like you've taken that time away from your family enough. But it's really, really important that you plan the me times. In a study that STIRS did, it says that parents who decide to take me times are healthier, they have more clear head, they feel refreshed, and in the end, they become better parents. So it's really important for you to grab a schedule and schedule me time for yourself so that you can become a better parent. And with that, each child needs to have that separate time with their parents. It's very important for their growth to be able to have that one-on-one time with the parents. So I suggest get a calendar out and you schedule each week a different child. And you don't have to do anything that's expensive. Go have a picnic with them. But that bonding time with that child is very, very important. And another thing that's really important, New York Daily Times says that you have to have a date night. You have to know that partner that you got married to. It's really easy to be so involved with the children all the time that you don't know who the person that you're even married to is anymore. So you need to turn off your cell phones. You need to not talk about children. You don't need to vent with the other person. You need to dress up and look nice, and you need to go out and have that special time with your partner. I think the biggest thing that I want you to get from this is that it is very important for you to schedule. Grab that calendar out, dust it off, and you start putting that calendar to use. Because if you don't start scheduling the time that you need to have with each person by yourself, then you're going to lose it. Forbes says that each parent gets, or a mom gets 17 minutes of me time a day. That's all she gets. So if you do not make a schedule and you don't put that schedule to play, then you're not going to have any time for yourself, and you're not going to be a better parent that way. And you're not going to schedule a time with each individual person. And they really need that, and so do you. Thank you.